talking with Eric Laster. Laster?
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Lassiter.
It's been, yes, I've had coaches in sports who called me that the entire time I've known them. But it's Laster.
So, caught me by surprise yesterday. I come around the corner and you had free reading, which I'm always game for a new book.
Thank God.
And hashtag static. The first 3 chapters. I'm walking away with your book today. Like that's just gonna happen.
Wow, thank you. I'm glad the sampler worked. So yeah, I printed up some samplers of the first 3 chapters to hand around because, as a writer, I'm not always convinced that me speaking is going to be the best way of getting across what's in here. And I thought, well, the book is better than speaking about itself than I am, so how about I try it? And so it's the first time I've tried that.
So
when you come back
what was the genesis of that idea? Like, have you seen other authors do it at other cons? Or?
No, it really was when I speak. I'm not getting always the reaction I want, and then people read the book and they're like, "What?" You know, you either undersell yourself or you're just not. It's about more than that.
They connect it on a different level.
So I was like, well, I'll try. I have bookmark stickers where I put the first sentence on, like to say here, you know, and then I'm like, well, I'll go one better. The chapters are short, so I'll do the first 3. Right. And it seems to be working. I mean, I would like to get better at doing the person-to-person thing, but if I don't, I don't. So that's where that came from. If that's the way you're talking.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I'm not going to talk too much about because you can read his.
This is the back, by the way. Cool. Front, back.
You can read the first 3 chapters for free. So I mean, if you see him at a con, grab them.
Yeah, and the first
really
3 the first 3 might be online at staticnovel.com also.
Staticnovel.com.
Yeah.
Cool. So where did the genesis of the story itself come from?
Probably, well, multiple places. It started, the very beginning started when I was giving myself an exercise, a writing exercise. I thought I was in a rut, whether I was or not. I just wanted to try different stories, story ideas. So I thought I'd write the beginning of a story 1 a day.
Nice.
I would only do a little bit, and I'd stop, and I'd move on. And I'd try different genres and different types of things. And so I wrote the very beginning of that's still in the book. I changed
effectively, the first 3 chapters you give away for free.
Yeah, well, not even half of the first chapter.
Okay.
And then I thought, and then I kept wanting to come back to it, and I thought, well, I didn't know where the brother was calling from. Right. And so. But I didn't know by page 5 either, and it's answered on page 12 in the book.
Yeah.
And so then I figured out, of course he's calling from. It doesn't matter because it's in chapter 3.
There you go.
He's calling from this place called the Aftermath. So where does somebody's dead. He's calling from somewhere, and the question naturally is, where are you?
A very interesting version of purgatory.
Yeah, where does everything go when it's no longer for sale and it's dead? It goes to an aftermarket. And so the people who are dead, they go around and they're shopping for better or worse. To you, it could be a heaven. To others, it's a hell. To some, it's a purgatory. For Wilt, who's in the book, it's a purgatory. So it started from an exercise, and then I figured out where Wilt was calling from, and I just started kind of liking the idea, and I liked the voice, stuck with me, because I wrote, a number of beginnings, but I kept coming back to this one, and I think it was Curtis, the main character's voice, that I was attracted to, and I kept doing it. And then, because it is a story about brothers, and I'm an older brother, and so there is a story, I wanted to track a certain change in my behavior toward my younger brother. Even though the older brother in this book is deceased, I wanted him to go through that change, and the brothers sort of gain a better understanding. So on one level it is about that, and the change is this. So I once saw some people in their 30s, siblings, trying to suggest to me where I should eat breakfast in a city, a certain city, and the younger 2 were giving me fine suggestions, such as eggs, whatever, just somewhere to eat.
Right.
And the older one was like, "That's a terrible idea. That's the dumbest thing. Why would you mention that place? That's stupid." And I thought, you guys are all way too old to be acting that way. And as an older sibling, I'm like, I see that knee-jerk reaction to me, like to the younger one, that's a dumb idea. Just because when you were 8, that's how you dealt with it. I'm
Right.
8, you're 5. Of course, your idea is dumb. But it came with me to a little bit through adulthood, and I realized, yeah, that's ugly. I'm not doing that anymore. And so I stopped. And I had to pay attention for a minute, but I've stopped. And my brother and I are great, and we were great before, but we're better. And so I did want to. So the brother thing was part of
that. And the dynamic between the two brothers, at least from those first
and in the beginning
chapters.
he's doing
But it's very dynamic to use the phrase twice. The dynamic has great brotherly like dynamics to it in that the older brother calls him all the pet names and is really dismissive, like you said, and it's a very good brotherly dynamic. So that's probably what caught me the most, aside from the similarities between apparently the way your brain works and the way my brain works.
Lucky me.
Hey, you sold at least one book.
No, I know. I'm serious.
So how long have you been writing?
Well, longer than it sounds like.
Anyway.
Professionally. Well, that technically means when you first start getting paid.
Touché.
So, I mean, I didn't start writing, for me, I think it's not really historically late. It feels late compared to certain writers, so I was in my mid-20s.
Okay.
So, I'm still in my late 20s, by the way. But that was late. I said, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm focusing my energies on. If I have to go work, that's fine. I did work. I was paid to read scripts at CAA for a while when I live in LA, and when I first moved there, it's like, yeah, okay, it's around words, I'll do that. So you go, you pick up a pile of scripts, you read them, you get paid. At the time it was $35 a script, and you read the whole thing and you write 2 pages on it and say whether it was any good or not. So I was getting paid a little bit, but I still had to have a job.
Right.
But so mid-20s, my first book came out when I was 32, and it came out on Simon & Schuster. It was for kids, which was not something I ever thought I would write for kids.
Why is that?
I just hadn't thought about it.
Okay.
I just never considered it, but I was at a bookstore once and I was looking at certain kids' books and I realized, wow, they're getting away with a lot more, they're being much more irreverent than most people are being in adult books, and that was attractive to me. And then somebody said, well, you should write something for a movie, an idea for a movie will get you working. I said, okay. And I wrote a paragraph, and I'm like, this is not a movie, this is for kids. And so I started writing it, and Simon & Schuster said okay when I had done about 60 pages. And so I do like still writing for kids and go back to it on occasion now. But that came out when I was 32, and then led to me ghostwriting.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I was a ghostwriter for 5 to 7 years, writing as other people fiction. The books did well; they were on the bestseller list. That was a little longer than I anticipated doing it for. I wanted to do that for 2 reasons. A, I wanted to get paid, so that's helped me do it professionally.
Sure.
So Simon & Schuster was the beginning, but it really isn't enough. Like one kid's book, isn't enough to pay for everything. The ghostwriting is what.
Unless you're J.K. Rowling.
Right. Yeah. If you get really lucky.
Right.
No disrespect to the talent involved.
For sure.
But so the ghostwriting made it full-time professional, and I've been doing that since. So now I do book doctoring too, and I also write for corporate clients sometimes because that stuff pays really well, and you can do it in a few days. But I like.
So this is your second novel then?
It is. I have published 3 books with my name on it.
Okay.
The second one that I relaunched after ghostwriting, if you don't mind, is
no, go for it. Absolutely.
It's a bit different. It's a wealthy QD drop. This is for 9-year-olds and up. Anybody whimsical, really. Whimsical people 9 years old and up. Can a homeless teen in New York City, armed mostly with deli food, save an alien race from extinction?
Apparently, we'll find out if you read it.
We will find out. And even if you guess yes, you will never guess how. You just won't. So this, I don't know why I wrote this. I can be honest,
really just
this
kind of
weird. This kid has an apron that has a never-ending supply of meat and/or weaponry that comes out, and I'm like, why am I writing this? I know that I went and did a school visit one time, and I had to tell them what I was working on, and it was about my first Simon & Schuster book. And I'm like, I'm not working on anything for kids, so I have to make something up. And I had this basic idea. I'm like, so I just said, yeah, there's a kid, he's got this apron, never knows if he's going to pull a weapon or floppy slice of bologna. And I didn't think anything of it, and I left, and the librarian was like, they're reacting to that. And I said, no, they're not. And next class, did it again. No, they're reacting to that. So I said, well, maybe I'll try it. And so I wrote it. But so there are 3 with my name on it, but I'm most proud of these 2 right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah,
this just came out. So right now,
just came out. Like how long ago?
5, 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Is there anywhere we can find you? Social media, website?
Yeah, I'm learning to be modern.
As am I, sir. As am I.
I mean, Instagram, E_Lasser. Social media, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook as E. Lasser or Eric Lasser. Staticnovel.com, ericlasser.com. I'll get all of those.
Laster, like he lasts and lasts.
Lasts and lasts, like, yes. But he comes in first in so many things.
There you go.
Yeah. But, yeah.
I appreciate you sitting down with me today, sir, and good luck on your book.
Hey, thanks, Dustin. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to click subscribe, check out anything else I've posted, and remember, if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.
sounded like you kind of excelled it, and then you brought it into the higher octave.
Yeah, well, I recovered.
So, you want to try?